Yesterday, during a Republican event, President Trump called former President Bush's decision to invade Iraq the single worst decision ever made. And he was absolutely correct in his critique of it, though not necessarily. I've never taken, in my view, mistakes the U.S. has made and just put them all on the categorical list where it's top 10 or this one's worse than the other. He's correct. It is among the worst mistakes the U.S. has ever made. And in reading that, I was kind of reminded of Trump during his last presidential campaign, and how even when I thought certain things he said were just out of line or otherwise not conducive to what I would prefer, there was still a part of me that was reserved in terms of condemning him because he at that point did not have any legislation to his name. So when he won, during the events leading up to him taking office, there was a part of me that still said, well, we haven't actually seen him govern. We haven't seen him implement any ideas or propose anything. And as time has passed, we've actually progressed into his first term in office of his, 8 years. I have taken on the tone of just being disillusioned with many of the things he's done. And it was nostalgic to hear that comment from yesterday because that was back when I thought he could be both anti-democrat and anti-republican in the sense that both parties have been supporters of the military-industrial complex. Um, and when you would make critiques of Iraq or some other war we're in, you think, okay, well now, yeah, definitely we're finally in the midst of someone that's not in favor of that stuff. Trump used to talk very poorly of NAFTA, and he was correct on that as well. But we're talking about someone that now has had airstrikes like Obama, kept the Afghan war going on like Obama and Bush, and really has sold me on this idea that other than the change in rhetoric and things he has to say and various speeches that he'll give that will sometimes make you think, oh, he might be opposed to this, there's not much of a change. There really is not, and it's very disheartening to think people can get you so excited or otherwise leave this back door open that, oh, maybe this will be different, which is what I think a lot of his supporters found in him when they voted, and then they get in office and keep up the same policies of their predecessors. Um, and of course, there are ways that he's differed, but those things which he has kept and retained from the Obama administration, the Bush administration, these two prior administrations, have served to deteriorate my view of him as a politician, as president. Just this is something that has come entirely from what he's actually done. And there are people who say, "Oh, Trump said this and it was correct," but look at what he's done. And that's why with a lot of his supporters, I just have kind of washed my hands with even trying to talk to them anymore because, I have to make this explanation of yes, him stating this about Iraq or some other policy of another president is correct, but look at what he's actually doing. And it feels as if all I can hear now is just rhetoric, rhetoric, rhetoric. That's all we care about. That's why I've become so disillusioned with just hearing out these speeches and the controversies. Oh, he said this. Oh, I can't believe it. And it gets to be almost a joke because now people are so focused on what someone has to say rather than what they're actually trying to do. So I hope my point has come across. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday.